welcome to the Cape Breton Diver. I'm Ken Jardine, instructor at Scuba Tech, Sydney, Nova Scotia.
And I'm Mark Breton from Nervous Wreck Dive Club, and no, I don't know him, folks.
As nervous as it gets right there. Look at it. And I got to go underwater with this guy and trust him with my life.
Would you trust anybody wearing sunglasses like that?
This thing?
You trust that?
Actually, at the Halloween party, who was picking on me about the sunglasses and the legs, actually? We were getting the legs picked on.
We were getting the legs picked on.
And Ruth, Pam Ellsworth's sister, Ruth. And you should never, ever pick on guys with microphones. Because we got one. Anyway, we won't talk about Ruth's legs. She didn't. She thought our legs were white.
Well, folks, I don't know.
She thought they were white. But when we get back from Cuba, eat your words, see?
Anyways.
What's the show? We're doing a show tonight. Right.
This is Paul cutting him off.
This afternoon.
Okay. This afternoon, we're going to talk on Tech Talk about buoyancy compensators. We're going to take you to a dive location called The Garden. And on Instructor Tips, you're going to tell us all about logbooks.
Logbooks. Book of logs.
Yes.
We are, indeed.
Yeah. That's
not harnesses, which Lawrence put down. They're buoyancy compensators. If he would take a scuba course, he'd know.
And they compensate for your buoyancy.
That's right. He would know these things if he took a scuba course. And I think the Tech Talk, it's one of the ones we did at Gabaroos again.
Exactly. Exactly. The day we were freezing.
Is this when you do your Crocodile Markey
Yep, exactly. The Crocodile Dundee cap and shades and the whole shoot match.
Okay, so we got 30 seconds to kill.
We have 30 seconds to kill.
We got 30 seconds.
We have to make up for last week where we were overboard.
We went overboard last week a little bit on time, so we're going to go underboard this week. Underboard?
Without stalling and trying to make this drag out any longer, let's just roll right into the Tech Talk.
Tech Talk, PCs, go.
Hi, welcome back to Tech Talk. How you doing, Ken?
Just great, Marky. We're at the gear. We're ready to get in the water.
Yes, sir. You know, you see Ken and I underwater a lot, and you probably wonder, you know, they're all wearing the same gear and that, which we really aren't. There's a lot of big difference between the gear that we wear. And if you want to show everyone what you use, Ken, and I'll show what I use, and we'll roll right into it.
All right, Marky. Well, the main thing is, if you could stand yours up there, the main things in common are we both have a tank, we both have regulators, we both have a buoyancy jacket, we both have gauges. That is where the similarities stop. It's only very, very basic. The tanks are identical, I must say that. My particular regulator is a Decor Extreme Plus, and as you can see, it has swivels here, so I don't get jaw fatigue and these other things. Our computers are identical, but my buoyancy jacket here is quite a bit different than Mark's. As you can see, all I have in the front are a couple of straps. That's all I have. I don't have pockets and all this sort of thing. In the back, I have 2 tank retaining bands, as opposed to on Mark's, as he's going to show in a second. It's not quite the same. The reason for that is that mine has a semi-rigid backpack. Okay? So it is a BC, but it's quite different from Mark's. All my lift is in the back. Anyone doing working dives needs their arms free or wearing dry suits. This is the BC of choice. Your stuff, Marky.
Okay. Again, like Kenny was saying, we have basically rigs, tank rigs, and that. In my particular case, I have a Sherwood first stage. The configuration of the hoses is totally different than Kenny's. Mine swing in a circle, okay? Again, I have a dive computer. I have the whip coming off, and I also have the octopus. As you can see on Kenny's and mine, the octopus is brightly colored, so I know where his is and he knows where mine is. My buoyancy jacket is different because it is a jacket style. As you can see, I have pockets on the front. I have lift completely around me. I have lift from the back, lift from the front. This is great for recreational diving. You can stick things in your pocket if you're collecting shells or whatever the case may be, or whatever you want to collect, you can actually stick things in the pocket, whereas Kenny needs to carry a bag.
Your regulator comes up under the arm too, doesn't it?
Yeah, mine is a Sherwood Maximus, and the hose actually swings underneath my arm out of the way, whereas Kenny's comes over his shoulder. Again, I prefer this one because the hose just doesn't get in your way.
So they're, like you say, basically the same stuff function-wise, but as far as the layout of it and that, it's quite a bit different.
Exactly. So until next week, have fun, play safe. We'll see you underwater.
Back again.
The
water, the famous water fade.
Yeah, the famous water fade.
Alrighty then, BC's. Gotta have them, gotta love them.
Buoyancy compensators.
You know, guys with
very
dry suits, the old guard divers, right? And a lot of people, they dive without a BC. But every dry suit manufacturer in the world recommends using a buoyancy jacket with your dry suit. That's a backup buoyancy system in case you have a dry suit problem. But anyway, that was fine. You did this is one of the shows that you did the footage on. I wasn't even out on this dive.
This is one of the very few dives Kenny wasn't even out on. Colleen and I were out on this dive, and it was a beautiful summer afternoon. The temperature was... You couldn't ask for anything better.
Was this the one that you sponsored with the club, or was this just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Oh, yeah.
Just the two of us. Just a leisurely afternoon dive. Anyways, it's called The Garden, and if you...
Yeah, how do you get there?
Show you. Right on the map here.
It's what we call a segue, where we work into the conversation.
Okay, again, as all dives, we leave from Sydney. We take the 125 bypass, hook into the 105 on North Sydney, come along through Bowlandry Island, go over Seal Island Bridge. Again, we go over Kelly's Mountain, and again, we take the Englishtown turnoff.
It looks so much
But
more.
this is about as far as we go. We don't cross the ferry. We just drive maybe a quarter of a mile beyond the ferry terminal or the crossing, okay? And that's called The Garden, and it's a beautiful dive. It's in about 30 feet of water maximum, and we're back.
You didn't fall or nothing.
Didn't fall or anything.
Good thing you weren't chewing gum while you were walking. There would be in a world of hurt.
Well, I can't chew gum and walk at the same
I
time.
think we're down to 6 seconds, so we're going to cut away.
So we're going to cut away to the dive, and we'll talk to you about the dive as it rolls. This is the St. Anne's looking straight down at Englishtown, and you'll see on the far right of your screen, which is just out of the picture at the moment, is where the dive actually takes place. The camera is pointing right at the dive spot now, just about the center of the screen.
Yeah, just about dead center there.
Just about dead center. It's a very easy access spot, as you can see the echo tail coming down. Very good. And if you turned around from the spot where that shot was taken, this is what you see.
Let's talk about you, not Colleen there, by the way, so you know.
I'm telling her that.
No doubt. I'm scared of her.
You're in trouble.
That is a beautiful beach there. That whole all along Englishtown is just gorgeous beach.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. The visibility was maybe about 20 feet this day.
Are you cutting across private property there, Mark, to get to that?
It is private property, but we have permission.
Okay.
To go right there.
I think Ray Gentile did a write-up for the, what's the Underwater Council, Passport to Diving, that the Nova Scotia Underwater Council produces. I think Ray did he sort of nicknamed it The Garden, actually.
Yeah, in fact, he did.
Yeah. Why did you come up with that?
Because it looks like an English country garden underwater on a very clear day, when the water is really, really clear. The sun rays penetrate, and it looks just like an English garden.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sight. I've done
How was Colleen, by the way, waving at everyone?
I've done some master diver course checkouts there. And I don't go there myself. I guess people get their own favorite spots. You guys tend to go there a lot. I don't go there a lot.
What you just saw there was Colleen just showing a starfish feeding on I guess it was a mussel.
Yeah. Chew around.
And there are lobsters around, and this is where we should have the jaws thing coming.
That's a nice size bug.
That was a fair-sized lobster. Colleen will encounter this lobster a little further on in the
So it'll encounter her.
It was kind of funny. It kind of surprised her because it kept tugging at her fin.
I catched it out on a friend's lobster boat this summer. They were pulling some traps. I took my son and my daughter out for it. And the lobster that were undersized, he was handing them to the kids to throw back in the water. And one of them grabbed on the Kenton right between the thumb and the index finger. He handed her. He wasn't really crying. It was so funny, though, the way the
I don't think you want to handle this one.
This one here
claw there is larger than my hand.
You see that lobster, you say, I got you, and the lobster's thinking, no, I have you.
He was very curious here because I had the camera, as you can see, he's touching the lens of the video housing with his feelers, I guess.
Do you know why he's doing that?
Yeah, he's trying to check it out, see what's going on.
I can tell you what he's seeing right now. He's seeing his own reflection.
Yeah.
I did that on a night dive, and I looked over the edge of the camera, and I couldn't believe it, how on the face of it you can see the reflection, and the lobster, they naturally, I guess, want to look at each other. I don't know.
Well, it's the same as when you're diving and the fish come in and look at themselves on your mask.
Or like you in the mirror for 40 minutes every morning. You're not combing your hair.
40 minutes? It's a mirror. 40 minutes?
40 minutes. Had a guy in basic
But as you
training.
can see, it's unfortunate the visibility wasn't better than what it was up there, because you could see that right here why this is called a garden. You come across patches of vegetation and it opens up, and there's everything imaginable on the surface, on the ground there. There's a lobster, and there's
Real tiny one there.
there's scallops, there's moon snails, there's you name it, it's there.
Yeah, you get in places like this with that kelp, it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that it is. This was the first time Colleen dove this spot, and she just loved it. We were underwater for maybe 50, 55 minutes. And we still had to grab her and tug her, tell her it's time to go.
Somebody get perch bit out here last summer,
And
bit on the jib, I guess you'd say.
quite a few people get bitten on the lips when they start feeding the fish.
Yeah.
They become so aggressive. Even a small fish.
You break open a mussel shell or a sea urchin or something with a rock, and the fish go into a little bit of a frenzy, and they,
there's a scallop shell.
I just filled out my renewal for that, actually. You know, it went from $5 to $10, the scallop license, 100% jump.
Is that right?
But it's still, I don't mind the $10, doesn't bother me.
That's me, folks, waving.
Not that I want it to go any higher, Mr. Fisheries people, is there? $10 is
This
locked.
is Colleen taking this footage. As you notice, the housing is still attached to my weight belt.
That's the same weight belt you booby trapped me with when I did the pool demo that time?
That's the one.
Yeah, no doubt.
On the last series, folks, you probably remember that.
Well, your suit's different than hers, Mark.
Only color-wise, we're both wearing the 7 mil Brooks suits here.
What was your water temp that day, do you know?
Water temperature, if I'm not mistaken, was in the low 60s.
That's really warm for scuba.
It is.
It's definitely wet weather.
And this is Colleen's favorite thing. It doesn't matter where we go diving, what we're doing, she has to stop and she must feed the fish. Otherwise, I'll never hear the end of it.
It is nice though, isn't it? Very nice. On a night dive, it's amazing how docile the fish are compared to a day dive. They're so active. At night, even flatfish now let you pet them and everything.
Almost.
What's that little pile of dirt in the back there? Is that my eyes playing tricks, or is that a lobster digging?
It could very well be a lobster hole. They do call it. This is just about the time when this huge lobster you saw a few minutes ago starts tugging at Colleen's fins.
Is that right?
Yeah, she was wondering, she thought her leg was caught in kelp.
Okay.
And it was just being tugged or whatever.
Yeah.
So she turned around and she almost skipped the leg out of her mouth.
Did you get it on?
No, I didn't. No? At that point in time, the camera wasn't rolling.
Yeah.
I was too busy laughing.
Oh, big flatfish come in there. Ah,
yeah.
Right. There comes another one. Yeah. Kenton loves that when we go snorkeling. He sees flatfish. Just loves it.
Like being so quiet and just gentle with them, she's actually tapping that flatfish on the nose.
Yeah. I tell people lots of times that people look for the deep dive, or they look for the big shipwreck and the Arrow and all these big wrecks and the Saguenay, what have you. You get in 20 feet of water somewhere, there's all kinds of light. A lot of times there's no current. You're going to have a lot of sea life. Just relax and take it easy. You guys are probably not more than 30 feet there.
The maximum depth we hit, I think, is about 31 feet that day.
People get in the water and they tear off out into the wild blue, and they don't take time to enjoy it.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
They're so wrapped up in the fact that they're doing a dive, but they don't enjoy the actual dive itself.
Yeah. But you can see the color wash out here quite a bit too, eh?
That is, the visibility wasn't all that thick. A lot of nutrients in water that time of the year, and this was 2 or 3 days after it rained.
The thing I'm thinking there was really the what's the term, Mark? The water absorbing the light spectrum?
Right.
Because her mask is pink, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And you can see there, it's almost washed out the white.
Washed out.
Once you get past about 35 feet, all your reds and that are gone.
That's the attack here.
Oh.
Yeah. It got a little ticked off at the fact that we wouldn't let it tug away at Colleen's fin. So it just decided to attack the camera. Whoa, this is too hard. I think I'm
That's
going
what Saddam Hussein lobster comes in, attacks once, and backs up a lot.
Just to show you the size of this lobster, Colleen's going to pick up a stick in a minute, and she's just going to bring it over. The lobster actually attacks the stick, but that stick is about 1 inch in diameter. And about 2 feet, 2.5 feet long.
When I was a kid, my father came home with a feed of lobster, and the big thing was to take a spoon and put it in the crusher claw and watch the lobster just mangle the spoon off it. Let them show up a little before you drop them in the big pot.
There's some big lobsters out there.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of lobsters out there.
Yeah, well, just up from there is the Bird Islands. Just up to the, let's see, the north.
It'll be at about the 11 o'clock position.
Looking at the map, yeah. Northeast up from there is the Bird Islands, and Chris and I were doing a night dive there. Well, there was a bunch of us from the club, and we dropped down. Oh yeah, he did like the stick.
Yeah, there's the stick.
And we dropped down, and there was a lobster under a rock. The rock was the size of a couch, and this lobster was half the size of the rock. It was 70 feet down. The thing was humongous. It must have been a 10-pound lobster. It was huge.
You can see the size of the stick there and the size of the lobster. This is Colleen's favorite part of this video. That's the crab that was feeding. She was so amazed at the way they eat.
Paulette and I don't know, were you calling the other day to get gooseberry coat?
You and I...
Paulette.
Yeah,
Colleen and Paulette. Well, I got some footage that day of the big pollock. They're about 18 inches long. I don't know, we haven't done that footage yet, have we? No. But when we do that show on Gooseberry, up in the cove itself, not on the wreck of the Montero, it was really something. The fish were eating out of my hand and out of Paulette's hand.
Exactly.
It was pretty impressive, actually.
Colleen was actually chuckling here. You could see her laughing.
Yeah. But if you're diving with bare hands, you just sort of place it and move your hand, because they'll nip at you. They see the white on your hand.
Oh, yes, very much so.
She's gotten, she likes that suit, eh? Remember the suit when she was using the rental suit?
Yeah, she loves it.
She needs a custom suit for sure, but she's so comfortable in there. Well, Christmas Eve, we did a dive. She did, what, 20 minutes?
20 minutes. We went to almost 92 feet.
Yeah, and what was the temp? 33. Yeah, Lionel and I did the 134 that day. Me and Lionel followed that. There's 7 of us dove Christmas Eve. 2 guys dove.
This is another example, excuse me, Ken, for a second, why it's called the Garden. It just looks like the Garden. It sure does. What you were saying.
Yeah, there was 2 guys dove, Paul McVicker and Greg Lettuce dove New Year's Eve. They went in the water at 11:45 and came out a quarter after. So in their logbook, the dive started in 1995 and ended in 1996. Yeah, so
exactly. Yeah.
Pretty neat.
That's different.
I don't know how they did the champagne thing and stuff like that at the end of it, but that's it. I guess they probably forego the traditional New Year's Eve midnight kiss thing, I would hope. Anyway.
I hope so.
Maybe they
hope so.
Alternate. Maybe I was Buddy Breeze or something.
Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the footage.
That's excellent footage, Mark. Really nice.
Beautiful spot. It's a very relaxing spot. And if you want to do an easy dive and just have fun, don't worry about depth or...
You don't have to swim a long distance?
No.
You don't need boats? It's just...
Depending on which way the tide is running, you just go up with the tide if you want, and then just...
Even from your car to the water, it's so easy. It's a nice wide pathway, and
very much. I don't think there's 100 feet to walk.
No, it's a real pussycat dive for sure. But you see the difference there. If you watched last week's show on Money Point, roughly the depth would have been about the same, right?
About the same depth, yeah.
And
no surge. No
surge at all.
No
as
surge.
opposed to, like, Greg and I were at a Money Point, and we had big pieces of ship to hold on to and everything, and the footage was really tossing us around quite a bit. We were getting beat up pretty good.
And it's so hard to hold the camera down there in surge.
Yeah, like I say, it's like standing on an apple juice can on one foot. That's what it's like when you're in any kind of waves at all with a video camera underwater. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Very much so.
But that site is we're so lucky in Cape Breton, you know.
We don't have to go very far.
How far is it right from downtown Sydney? How far is it to get there?
42 miles.
42 miles.
Which converts to, what, about 60 kilometers?
60 or 70 clicks,
yeah. Approximately 60 kilometers.
Just spectacular.
Yeah.
And that's only one of probably 10 sites within a mile of that site. There's 10 others.
Oh, there's a lot. There's sites even closer than that that are...
Oh, yeah.
That are very nice.
For sure, for sure.
Anywhere in Cape Breton, if you just go in the water and you have a good dive spot just about.
Well, thanks for that stuff,
Yeah.
Mark. We're going to have to move along to instructor tips.
And you're going to talk to us about?
A little bit about the log book. A very important piece of kit. It's good for your dive safety and for your dive planning. So we'll get right to that if you can roll that footage there, Lawrence. Oh, the little Blue Jay hat going up in there, just like in the studio.
That's right.
Hi,
Right.
welcome back to Instructor Tips. Today, as you can see, we're going to be talking about the logbook. Purpose of the logbook, as you know, Marky, and for those of you out there that may not know, is for the diver to keep a record of dives that they've done to prove that you have certain levels of experience. Your certification card is going to show that you've had actual training. The logbook is how you tell how much experience you have. The other thing is, we're going to do a dive out here today. We're at, there's a little old wharf here in Gabaroos, at the Gabaroos Lighthouse is up in behind us here. We want to do a dive here. It's been a while. So, we both got out our logbook. Let's see what we got. Last time we dove here, I think we were looking at it earlier, September 5th.
September 5th, yeah.
We were helping with course number 9508. I think that was one I was doing for native fisheries.
Exactly.
Right.
And temperature was a little bit different than it is today. We had 70 degrees.
Ooh, that was the air temperature. The bottom temperature was a balmy 63.
Balmy is right.
Balmy 63 with the scuba gear on is just fantastic. Mark has his laid out a little more, a little nicer than mine. Maybe we can spin this around and let Lawrence get a zoom in on it there. As you can see here, it was dive number 139 for Mark, September 5th, as we stated. 70-degree air temperature, 63 in the water, with a visibility of 10 feet. We could see up to 10 feet away with clarity. Started with 2,450 PSI. Just had your big tank that day, Mark.
I must have.
Yeah, ended with 1620. Average depth of 15 feet, max of 25. Down this side, we have a running total of your hours. You had 81 hours and 54 minutes there, plus 15 gives you a total of 82 hours and 9 minutes. Gabaroos Bay Lighthouse, checkout dive with George Marshall as your buddy. We got here conditions. It says it was a mild breeze, right? Slight surface, what's that? Slight surface surge. Okay, slight surge. Oh, that's right. You're helping me with checkouts for native fisheries. And in here, as you can see, the dive started at 11 in the morning, or ended at 11:15, and you also did your dive tables down here. Mine's not quite as elaborate as Mark's. I'm kind of sketchy when I'm laying them out, but this is going to give us an idea. The depth that we're looking to attain today, this logbook entry is telling us what direction we want to go in and where we want to go in order to hit the dive, to hit the depths and accomplish what we're looking to accomplish today. Right? A lot of people don't keep up a good logbook, which is unfortunate, because when you go, things like if you go south and try and get in some dives at some other dive clubs, or if you go, say, to Lunenburg and you want to do a night dive on the Saguenay, if they have something set up, if you don't have a logbook to show that you've been doing a lot of diving and you're quite proficient, they're not going to take you out on it, and you can't really blame them. It's the only way that you can prove that you've been keeping up your proficiency with diving. They say dive logbook. It's something you want to do every time you dive. Right? There are so many different things. They have notes in there, directions. You can write all the serial numbers of your equipment. A lot of things. I have a little phone list in the back of mine, which is really nice. But logbooks are a fantastic thing to have. If you keep up on them, it's going to make your diving a lot more enjoyable and a lot safer. That's it for today's instructor tips. We're in.
And we're back.
There we go. Yeah, the logbook, as you can see, I have mine right here when we're in the studio. A lot of times, if you're trying to think, where was it we did that whatever dive last year, and if you keep a really good logbook, you'll know it.
Yeah, because if I were to ask you what the conditions and everything were for the dive that we showed last week, you can just refer back to the page.
I can find it in here, get the date and this and that, and what have you. So they're a great thing to have anyway, that's for darn sure.
Yeah. The thing is, and I believe we've mentioned this before on other shows, when you take a look at your dive book, just by reading down the information you've laid into it, it brings back the dive. You remember just about everything there is about the dive.
Yeah, it sure does.
Whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, it's, oh God, I'm just looking through this stuff here. There's the stuff on the Arrow, and Long Island, Lewisburg.
Nice stuff.
How many dives do you have logged?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see here. Right now, the last dive I did was over at North Sydney Marine Railway, actually, under a big boat we were working on. 736 ocean dives.
And every one of them has been logged, and I'll bet you if you go back to dive number 300 and just refresh your memory with the notes, you could recall that dive.
Oh yeah, you could replan it,
very
you know.
easily.
I know dive number 500 was in Cuba. I remember that. It was pretty good.
That's great.
Yep, great stuff. Anyway, next week's show, folks, we're going to do, now, The Garden is arguably one of your favorite. I think it's Ray Gentile's favorite.
Definitely Ray Gentile's. Colleen loves it.
Yeah.
If
a lot of people in the club
to go diving the garden, I'll go with them.
Really like it. Yeah. One of my favorite spots is Gooseberry Cove. Absolutely love diving in Gooseberry Cove. In my opinion, from that one site, there are at least 4 really excellent dives you can do from that one site.
Definitely. One of them is the Montera.
The bow and stern, 2 separate dives, really.
That's right.
We've done that. We did a show on it.
We did a show on it last season.
Probably do another show on it this summer. We'll probably shoot some stuff.
You could, because there's so much to be seen on there. You know.
The other site which we're going to do is in the cove itself. Okay, in Gooseberry Cove, right up into the cove. There's a spot there where the kids go in the summertime and they jump off the rocks. It's about a 10-foot drop into a 20-foot clear pool of water. We're going to look at the spoon, which I first discovered with a good friend of mine that unfortunately passed away last year, Terry Rose. I call it Terry's Spoon, and you'll see why it's called the spoon. It's beautiful. And the biggie is, if you like watching people feed the fish, let's see the size of the fish out there, eh, Mark?
Oh, there's some nice marine life.
Was that half of a seal carcass there?
I believe it was. I believe
Poor
it was.
seal, somebody shot it or died or something. We're swimming along, and all of a sudden there's like a half a seal sitting there.
And all the fish are swimming around with smiles on their face because they're well fed.
Lunch, dinner is served. But these fish are, 18 inches long, a lot of these, probably 12 to 18 inches long.
Yeah, they are.
And they eat just like the little perch do, right out of your hand. It's a beautiful sight.
Very much so. Every time you dive Gooseberry Cove, there's always something new.
Oh, yeah.
To
I dove under there. The visibility usually is spectacular. And we're going to talk about wet and dry suits next week also.
Yeah, we'll talk about wet and dry suits. And there's some very interesting shows that we're going to be doing this year. And maybe if we have time next week, we'll mention a few of them.
Well, I certainly enjoyed the footage you brought this time. We'll have to give you the camera more often, you old trout. But until next time, I'm Ken Jardine from Scuba Tech.
And Mark Blutot from the Nervous Wreck Dive Club.
Safe diving, everyone.
Have fun.